In the year 1895, the 21-year-old Italian electrical engineer Guglielmo Marconi did for the first time what is known today as the first radio transmission from a temporary station set up on the Isle of Wight. For many years after the first radio transmission, however, radio was considered a public library, a cultural asset free of advertisement. But that was about to change. By the year 1920s, a few men have started experimenting with radio advertisement, but none of them seemed to do it better than a man named John R. Brinkley. Brinkley is a con man, a medical doctor without any medical degree. I'm sorry, Brinkley had a fake medical degree which he bought from a diploma mill, and by the year 1823, he started his radio station to promote his fake cure for male impotence, which consisted of implanting goat testicles in the human body. Brinkley's strange solutions were never approved by the medical community, and he had no scientific evidence that his products work. But he went on to make millions of dollars, thanks to manipulative radio advertisement. While it's not likely that someone like John R. Brinkley succeeds in our world today, thousands of others like him are out there to take your money. Their strategies are different from that of Brinkley though. In fact, their product won't necessarily kill you the way Brinkley's products killed many people in the 1920s. But like Brinkley, the only thing that matters to these people and corporations is your money. Their only goal is to trick you to buy what you don't need, and the way they do that is by making you unhappy. According to this study published by Harvard Business Review, the more advertisement you consume, the less life satisfaction you're likely to have. In the study, Professor Andrew Oswald and his team at University of Warwick compared survey data on the life satisfaction of more than 900,000 citizens of 27 European countries from 1980 to 2011 with data on annual advertising spending in those nations over the same period. Researchers found an inverse connection between the money spent on advertisement and the happiness of the people in those nations. The higher a country's ad spend was in one year, the less satisfied its citizens were a year or two later. I close my eyes and I can see some fat corporate guys in a meeting. CEO. The CEO says, "How can we sell more products?" The marketing manager says, "We'll force them to buy." The CEO, "But how?" The marketing manager says, "We'll make them unhappy." CEO says, "I don't understand." And the marketing manager will say, "Well, we'll show them that everybody already has it." That's the trick. And that's what makes us unhappy. Everybody has bought this phone. If you don't have it, you're a loser. Truly successful people drive this car. If you don't buy it, you're a loser. Now, let's get something straight here. Advertisement by itself isn't what makes us unhappy, but the manipulative adverts of the 21st century. For example, in 1836, when Émile Girardin, editor of the Paris newspaper La Presse, introduced an advert to the newspaper for the first time, the objective was to lower the price of the newspaper, extend its readership, and increase its profitability. And early print advertisements were used mainly to promote books and newspapers. Books helped more people to be educated, and newspapers informed them. So that was kind of nice, you know. If we turn back the clocks to the year 1890, this was the Coca-Cola advert. The tagline of this advert was simple: "Drink Coca-Cola, it's just 5 cents." On this 1905 Cadbury ad image, the tagline is simple: "Drink Cadbury Cola, it's pure." For 30 years from 1934, this is the most famous Guinness advert. The ad's tagline was simple: "Guinness will give you strength." But then, in 1954, a psychologist named Leon Festinger proposed social comparison theory. Through his studies, Festinger observed that people have an innate drive to evaluate themselves, often in comparison to others. People make all kinds of judgments about themselves, and one of the key ways that we do this is through social comparison. This simply means that you don't know whether you are successful or not until you compare yourself with other people. Most people don't know whether they should be happy or not. The only thing that determines how successful or happy most of us feel is how better we think we're doing when we compare ourselves with other people. Festinger's and similar discoveries about human minds would be a great asset for 20th century marketers. More than 15 years before Festinger's theory of social comparison, great marketers like Rose Reeves have been having problems selling a lot of products. To get more products sold, Rose Reeves had created the concept of unique selling promise in the year 1940 and even published a book in 1961 called Reality in Advertising, in which he preached the gospel of unique selling promise. Even though the first advertising agency had been created around 1840 by Volney B. Palmer, advertising didn't become a science until about 80 years later. By the year 1960, the average marketer was no longer an ordinary guy who wants people to know about his product. He's now a con man who no longer appeals to people's reasoning but to their emotions. Forget this kind of advert. This or his. Forget Claude C. Hopkins' 1923 message about service and samples. We as advertising geniuses now know the biggest human weakness. We'll let them compare themselves with others, make them feel unsuccessful and unhappy without our products. We'll tell them that they can't be happy until they buy our products. We'll tell them that all their friends have better lives because they give us money. We can even lie that doctors or some experts use our poisonous products. And if doctors drink our poison, who are you to think it's dangerous? It's no longer about your thirst or your health. It's about your feelings. While 19th century ads targeted consumers' brains, most of the 21st century ads target our hearts. While the purpose of ads at the beginning of the 20th century was to make consumers aware of a particular product and tell them what the product can do for them today, most of today's ads are about making the consumer unhappy. If you don't buy my product, you're a loser, because every one of your friends has bought it. The sad irony about this video is that it contains some ads. But why? Why should a video that speaks against ads have ads in the first place? First, not every ad is harmful to us. For example, I was glad the day Facebook showed me an ad about a parenting app. I downloaded that app and paid for it immediately because it would help me with my new life as a parent. I also appreciate YouTube for showing me an ad from the masterclass. I paid for their app and I loved it, so I hope the ads you see in this video are as helpful. The second reason why this video has an ad anyway is, well, even if you don't see ads on this video, you'll still see another 4,000 ads today anyways. Well, yes, according to this Forbes article, digital marketing experts estimate that most Americans are exposed to around 4,000 to 10,000 ads each day. Now that none of us can run to the world of no ads, what are you supposed to do? I don't know. I don't know what you can do. But I can share with you what I do to not be a victim of manipulative marketing. First, I usually don't have money. From an early age, I've learned from my mother that money isn't an instrument of pleasure. My mother saved everything she earned, and even though I don't save money because of inflation, I'm almost always investing every penny I earn. So I'm always a broke person because I don't usually have any money other than what my family needs for the month. It's difficult for you to sell to me any garbage I don't need. I know half of the people watching this video have credit cards and can buy elephants even if they don't have any cash. Well, I live in a country where most of us don't spend money until we earn it. If you live in a country that allows you to spend the money you don't have, then I advise you to read this book. The Law of Human Nature shows us how gullible all of us are, and Robert recommends that you should pause before making most decisions. Example of that is if you are shopping on Amazon and there comes a pop-up ad or something that says, "Buy this and get free shipping." Instead of jumping to buy what you don't need because of free shipping, what if you just keep all your items on the cart and wait till tomorrow? After 24 hours, if you come back to check everything you've added to your wish list and ask yourself, do I really need this? You'll be surprised how little you truly need compared to what you want. Another strategy I think can help you is to change your perspective about other humans. Let me give you an example here. I usually pity people who buy things they can't afford and sometimes think they're less than human. Well, I'm sorry. I'm just being honest here. Whenever I visit my friends and see in their homes what I know they don't have the income to afford, I truly feel bad for them. Whenever I meet anyone who appears to be driving a car he cannot afford, I feel as though they're less than human. Because I have a bad opinion about wasteful spenders. Joining their club is not what I can do without feeling bad about myself. If you feel that people who spend the money they don't have are inferior humans, you wouldn't want to join their club.